Welcome to the September 22nd, 2020 General Session of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. So we ask that you kindly maintain the same level of decorum as if this were a public meeting in person. Finally, for those of you that are calling in, we'd like to make sure that you ensure you have your phone muted by pressing *6. We will begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. All right. On Friday, our nation said goodbye to a champion of American ideals, a woman who embodied the very essence of equality and justice for all of us, as we said in our pledge just now. Under the law, a passionate lawyer and advocate, a judicial scholar, an associate justice of the United States Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg lived her life with an ever watchful eye toward ensuring inclusion and equality for all Americans. It was a sad day, I know, here in this household, and I'm sure in households all over America. So would you all please join me in a moment of silence as we pay our respects to the Honorable Justice Ginsburg. Thank you. I don't know if my colleagues have anything that they'd like to add, but Justice Ginsburg was a big figure here in our house, especially to my wife and daughters. Friday was a sad day with a lot of text messages going back and forth amongst my extended family, and but I don't know if my colleagues wanted to add anything.
You know, for me, she embodies the Jewish theme of Tikkun Olam, which means to better the world and leave the world in a better place. And I think that says it all for me. She was an icon to so many, but she truly worked to better the world in so many ways.
Yeah, the only thing I can add to, she was one of the first Supreme Court judges that I watched a lot of in terms of the hearings, confirmation hearings and all of that, and in terms of my age. And as I think about her passing, I think about how irreplaceable she'll be, and also just how much the elections matter, because this replacement is, while she's irreplaceable, the implications of public policy that she was able to maintain and carry for years are in jeopardy just that quick. And she's sorely missed. And I think all of us have to take on a little bit of Justice Ginsburg to, in our own public policy lives and try to accommodate for her loss. We won't be able to, but we owe her that, we owe her legacy that, and she'll be an important and great part of our history. So I appreciate the moment of silence and the recognition for her.
So we'll move on. Thanks, guys. Move on now. We need the approval of the minutes of the June 16th and 23rd, 2020 general session. a September 17th, 2020 briefing session, and a September 14th, 16th, and 18th, 2020 administrative briefings.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Thank you.
All right. First up will be Director Leonard and the Board of Elections.
Resolution number 637-20, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments to support voter outreach efforts for the general election.
Good morning, Commissioners. This resolution would authorize appropriation of $400,000 to be allocated for, $420,000, which would be for $350,000 for television and $25,000 each for digital advertising, as well as for radio advertising to communicate messages in furtherance of preparing our voters for Election Day, emphasizing early voting, and again, the importance of getting their ballots back in and getting their absentee applications in right away. And then we've been working on the script for that, and in terms of modifications to have a little bit more detail than the current advertising or the current public service announcements have.
Ed, this Commissioner Grady, may I ask a question?
Please.
Yeah, Ed, I would really, given the history of this commercial with this board and this entire conversation, the content of the ads and the advertisement effort is critical to this conversation. How can we pass something that you haven't even seen yet? I understand it's one thing to have the script, but it's another thing to see the graphics or the rest of the layout of the commercial. And so I'm struggling with it. You haven't even seen the ad yet. I know I haven't seen it yet, and moving this forward.
Well, we do know the types of modifications that we want to make, and I think we can make those before anything actually goes up on TV. Again, and I can share it with you, with the commissioners, as soon as it's completed, so that you can see the what will actually be put up on air.
Well, I'd rather not how this works. I mean, you should show it to us, and then you don't buy something and you figure out what you got after you buy it. You do it at the same time, so you know. But let me just ask questions a different way then. Does it have polling hours in it? Does it have the polling location here in Franklin County identified in it? Does it have COVID-19 standards and the structure of addressing the COVID-19 environment in it? Does it have anything specific to seniors or new voters that are registered for the very first time in voting? Does it have Franklin County specific information? And if not, what is the content of that? What are we telling the public? What is the point of
We're telling the public that they should have already received an absentee application mailed to them, and that they should mail it back, return that as quickly as possible, and that the registration deadline of October 5th is approaching, and that they can update their registration or they can register or update their registration by going to the voteohio.gov website, which is actually, if somebody were to come to the Franklin County website, they have 2 clicks and then it actually diverts them to the Secretary of State's website, where they go through the step-by-step process of updating their registration or registering for the first time if they have their state ID or a driver's license. But again, by using voteohio.gov, it's a much easier website to remember, voteohio.gov, and it saves them, it gets them to where they need to be quicker than if they were to go to the Franklin County Board of Elections website. And
so it's really about voter registration. The ad is really about voter registration than anything else. And the answer to the rest of my questions that I asked you, then I take it as no. it doesn't have those things in it.
Correct. Right now, it's the first ad is emphasizing the fact that they've received an application in the mail and they should mail it back as quickly as possible. And then that they can update their they can register online or update their registration by going to voteohio.gov, and that the message is brought to them by the Board of Elections. And then at the end, it'll have on screen, it'll have information about Board of Elections information.
Is there any money set aside or directed for minority newspapers or minority media outlets?
Not for newspapers, no, not at this time. So
then what's the strategy to do the
digital
outreach to the minority community and for our seniors who may not have access to electronic resources or internet resources?
That would be the television component of it and radio component of it.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to vote.
The radio, the $25,000 for radio can be used for the minority community, correct?
I think it's critically important that we get information out to the general public. I wish it was more and different than it is, but I think it's critically important that we get this out to the over 600,000 registered voters who have not gotten their absentee ballot requests in now. And I'm ready to vote for this as well. Kevin, did you want to make a motion?
I will, let me just say, I'm gonna be voting no on this. I think that the content is important to me, and that there's a lack of dedicated strategy for minority outreach in this appropriation that the board has put together, and anything specific to Franklin County. Yeah, it's important to know when the voter registration date is. And yes, it's important to know that you got to get that back in. But I think those are secondary pieces of information to all of the information for people who are registered to vote, people who don't have access to digital resources or don't have access to the sort of traditional means that we have. And having not seen that, given the language that the board adopted, I'm not convinced this is, I want to vote for this because the promotion, advertising of the election itself is critical. Hell, I'm on the ballot. Nobody thinks it's more critical than I do, unless you're on the ballot, but this isn't it to me. So I move for adoption of the resolution.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
No.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
The resolution has been adopted.
Thank you, commissioners. I'll continue to work as best I can.
Thank you. I'm sure you will.
Thanks, Director.
Thank you.
All right, Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 638-20. Resolution awarding a service agreement between the Board of Commissioners and the Community Shelter Board to implement Franklin County's COVID-19 Federal Stimulus Emergency Solutions Grant program in the amount of $1,870,630.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Paxson, Economic Development Planning. In attendance with us is from the Community Shelter Board is Sarah Loken to respond to any subsequent questions. The original contract agreement with the Community Shelter Board established new temporary emergency shelters for two purposes. One was a deconcentration of existing emergency shelters to increase social distancing required to reduce the spread of COVID-19, and two, for the isolation and quarantine of households experiencing homelessness or showing symptoms of COVID-19 or have tested positive for COVID-19. The amended agreement expands the scope of services to ensure shelter to all who need it, that no one in Franklin County is left on the streets while waiting for a shelter bed. The provision of the shelter allows for regular testing and tracing to prevent the spread of the virus and ensures the medical needs are met. This protects both those experiencing homelessness as well as the general public. This amendment adds $1.8 million to the original contract amount of $595,590, brings the total agreement amount to $2,4,666,220. The amendment is funded with COVID-19 ESG round $2 the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Funding for this project has been approved in the county's 2019 Action Plan Amendment to HUD, has met all requisite citizen participation requirements. Pending any questions, I respectfully request passage of this contract amendment.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 638-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 638-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 639-20. Resolution entering into a second funding agreement amendment with the Economic and Community Development Institute to provide a micro enterprise loan program to county businesses utilizing COVID-19 federal stimulus community development block grant CARES Act funding of $125,795.
This amended contract agreement with the Economic and Community Development Institute provides additional funds for microenterprise revolving loan program for businesses in Franklin County. The funds can be used for working capital, inventory, and equipment. The contract amendment is funded with $125,795 in CDBG COVID-19 CARE Act funds. The $125,000 brings the total contract amendment amount to $1,300,795. The contract amendment has been approved by way of the county's 2019 action plan, has met all requisite participation requirements. Again, pending any questions, I respectfully request passage of this contract amendment.
All right. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 639-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 639-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 640-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached subordination agreement to allow Alana Golden to refinance her mortgage at 4918 Amherst Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43228.
Good morning, Commissioners. Madison Andrews from Economic Development Planning. This property owner received a home loan of $10,000 and is now wanting to refinance her property. This subordination agreement would allow her to reduce her interest from 4.75 to 3.75. 4.75% to 3.75%, which would reduce her monthly payment by $100. So I respectfully ask that you sign the subordination agreement so that she can refinance her property.
All right. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 640-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 640-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 641-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Wilma J. Adams at 4089 Casa Boulevard, Grove City, Ohio, 43123.
This property owner received a home loan of $15,000. They've met all their program requirements and the property taxes are current. So we respectfully ask that you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 641-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 641-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 642-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Ashley Huberger at 5970 Descartes Road East, Westerville, Ohio, 43081.
This property owner received a home loan of $6,000. They've met all the program requirements and all their property taxes are current. So respectfully ask you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 642-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 642-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 643-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Alice W. Taylor at 1900 Ferris Road, Franklin County, Ohio, 43224.
This property owner received a home loan of $15,000. They've met all the program requirements, property taxes are current. So we ask that you sign the provided discharge of mortgage instrument.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 643-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 643-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 644-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County. Let's start over. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Emma Long at 2486 Rosedale Avenue, Columbus, Ohio 43223.
This property owner received a home loan of $15,000. They've met all the program requirements. Property taxes are current. So we ask that you sign the provided discharge of mortgage instrument.
If there's no comments or questions, move for adoption of 644-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 644-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 645-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Lisa Campbell at 168 West Street, Groveport, Ohio 43125.
This property owner received a home loan of $15,000. They've met all program requirements. Property taxes are current, and we respectfully ask that you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
All right. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 645-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 645-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Department of Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 646-20. Resolution approving a contract agreement with Franklin County Probate Court for adult protective guardianship services in the amount of $54,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. As you know, our agency is responsible for administering Title 20 block grant funds locally via contracting for necessary services. This includes working with the probate court and the Public Guardianship Board to fund oversight and other protective services for elderly adults who require court-appointed guardians. The board serves adults age 60 and up who are referred to the court for adult protective services by Franklin County Office on Aging as a result of abuse, neglect, or exploitation. Over the course of the current contract, the board's guardians have provided around-the-clock assistance and consent for 46 seniors. This amendment will allow them to serve 6 additional APS-referred seniors, as well as cover higher than anticipated costs for services for this population that may.
Vivian, we're having trouble hearing you.
Are you?
We
Okay.
lost you.
Did you hear any of it?
We did, the most of it.
Okay, so let me start here. This amendment will allow them to serve 6 additional APS referred seniors, as well as cover higher than anticipated costs of services for this population that may be at higher risk during the pandemic. All other terms of the contract are unchanged, and we will bring forward a new contract for the federal fiscal year 2021 in the coming weeks. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Commissioners, if I can just really quick, Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services. Just for the community's information, I would like to say that this resolution does support the Franklin County Poverty Blueprint Plan as we identified disparities in the senior population during that time.
Thank you, Director.
All right. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 646-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 646-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 647-20. Resolution approving subaward amendments with Community Refugee and Immigration Services, Ethiopian to Huwedo Social Services, Jewish Family Services, and Us Together Incorporated for refugee employability programs in the amount of $650,000.
Commissioners, as you know, we are the only county job and family services agency to receive state refugee social services funding. The funding is intended to help eligible newly arrived refugees across the Central Ohio region address challenges and barriers to employment, such as language, education, and work skills. The ultimate goal is to help move these individuals and families who have been impacted by trauma and violence into employment as soon as possible. During the first year of this 3-year grant period, our Franklin County Refugee Social Service Collaborative partners enrolled over 480 participants, with 70% of those enrolled obtaining employment exceeding the state's target of 53%. Most of these jobs were full-time with benefits, providing an average wage of $14.32 an hour, also exceeding the state's target of $12.50 per hour. This resolution supports goal number 4 of the Rise Together Blueprint, improving the delivery of supportive services for individuals to access employment. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 647-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 647-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Sanitary engineer.
Resolution number 648-20, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County authorizing an application to the state of Ohio to participate in the State Capital Improvement Program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephen Renner with the Department of Sanitary Engineering. The resolution before you is asking your permission to apply for funding assistance for 2 more sanitary sewer projects. These are the last 2 that the county had broadcast a list in 2003 of the Water Quality Partnership Program. It is with the Ferris Road and the North Hague Road communities. And it will tie in about 110 homes, and the applications are for 75% loan and 25% grant.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 648-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 648-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Community partnerships.
Resolution number 649-20, resolution authorizing grant agreements related to Columbus and Franklin County Resilience Initiative Grant Program in the amount of $5,250,695.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Administrator for Community Partnerships. I'm so pleased this morning to bring this resolution forward surrounding the Resilience Initiative. As you know, this was a joint effort. This is a joint effort between Franklin County and the City of Columbus. And we together combined as a city and a county to create a pool of $20 million, a little more than $20 million in CARES Act funding to help our nonprofit partners with a hand up, not a handout, to really help the community get back on its feet in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. So our applications, this entire process started in July. Applications were due. We were kind of wondering at a certain point how many people would apply. We were nervous that we wouldn't receive $20 million in requests. When the applications closed, we received 247 applications requesting more than $91 million in funding. I'm pleased to say that we had a multi-stage review. We had a technical review that was conducted by staff from the City of Columbus and Franklin County. We had a second review that was conducted by external reviewers. Very grateful to Elon Sims with the Crane Group. He facilitated the external review for us. He served as the chair for that committee. So we, at this stage where we are right now, we are ready and excited to enter into contract with 30 community partners, 30 nonprofit organizations located throughout Franklin County. Our grants will total about $5.3 million. The city is contracting with 80 nonprofit partners. At this point, I would love to thank my counterpart in the city, Kim Stans, who was really wonderful to work with, and we work together as colleagues, always on the same page with the thought in mind, what can we do working together to help magnify the reach of the city and the county. I'm pleased this morning we are joined by Michael Stevens. He is the director of the Department of Development for the City of Columbus. And Michael is here to just say a few words about this incredible collaboration. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for having me here. I just want to thank you and your team for the great work we did in coordinating and collaborating to better serve our residents in need throughout the community. Administrator Wilson and Dana provided a phenomenal job and through the technical work review as well as the review group with our external partners. It's really important that we get these dollars out to support our human services to that lens of equity, and the work that was done by the review committees really met that goal. So thank you again for supporting this and partnering with us. I think it's a great example of how the city and county can come together to meet the needs of our community.
If there are no questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 649-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 649-20 has been adopted. Resolution.
Dana, excuse me, Dean. Dana, how quickly will these dollars get out the door?
We are working on contracts right now. We have already begun. My colleague, Lagrita Holloway, was really helpful. We provided her with a list of all the agencies that were due to receive funding, and we've been working behind the scenes with agencies that have not yet that haven't ever contracted with the county before to make sure that all of their paperwork is in and up to speed. So we will have a webinar with all of our grantees tomorrow, and we are ready to start pushing contracts through. So I am hopeful that our funded agencies will receive funding starting in October.
That's great. The sooner we can get them the money, the sooner they can meet the needs of our residents. That's terrific. And thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right.
Commissioner, we have one more under community partnerships.
Good.
Resolution number 650-20. Resolution authorizing a grant agreement related to the Columbus and Franklin County Resilience Initiative Grant Program in the amount of $200,000.
Commissioners, this is really the work of the previous resolution. The first resolution had 29 of the 30 agencies that we will move forward and contract with. We split this resolution at Commissioner Boyce's request. He serves on the board of I Know I Can, and just really wanted to avoid any even appearance of impropriety. So we split the resolution, and I Know I Can is on a separate resolution to really do the same work that was outlined before. If there are no questions, I would request the approval of this resolution.
I'll move for passage of 650-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce, or excuse me, Commissioner Grady?
Yes.
And Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
The resolution is adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 651-20. Resolution authorizing a sub-grant award with the Franklin County Municipal Court for peer support services through the fiscal year 2017 and 2018 comprehensive opioid abuse site-based grants in the amount of $50,000.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Michael Daniels, Director of the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Our first resolution allows for ongoing and increased peer support specialists to work inside of the opiate drug court over in Municipal Court. As you can imagine, during COVID-19, with the groups not meeting in congregate settings within the courthouse on a regular basis, being able to have someone in the community to lean on, to talk to, perhaps even to help take you someplace one-on-one is even more critical for folks who are in active recovery. And so increasing these peer support specialists for individuals who are in their early stages of opiate recovery is critically important. And we're happy to be able to support this through Judge Jody Thomas's specialized docket. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 651-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 651-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 652-20. Resolution authorizing a sub-grant award and contract to the City of Columbus for translation and interpretation services through the fiscal year 2018 Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $20,000.
Commissioners, as you know, Franklin County is becoming even more diverse, and that's a great thing. With that comes plethora of languages which are spoken as first languages in people's homes. The court itself, during court proceedings, provides translators and interpreters in the courtroom. These dollars will help to provide translation and interpretation services at service providers in the community, particularly domestic violence intervention service providers, so that individuals where English is not their first language can still benefit from these critical programs and families can be maintained. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 652-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 652-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. Human Resources.
Resolution number 653-20. Resolution authorizing a contract with USI Insurance Services, LLC for risk management insurance consulting services in the amount of $190,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Tank, Risk Manager, Franklin County Department of Human Resources. This contract is for a contract with USI Insurance Services, who will provide loss control and insurance brokering services. This allows the county to market our insurance plans and receive quotes in a very expedient fashion. And this will also allow us to do a deep dive into our properties and our loss control services to look at protecting our county's most important assets, which are our people and our properties. So pending any comments or questions, I would respectfully request passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 653-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 653-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kurt. Purchasing.
Resolution number 654-20. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,158,418.90.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Valenier, Director of Purchasing. This resolution requests your approval of 62 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 4 out of 9 eligible POs totaling $9,985.59 are being presented for award to 3 women business enterprises and 1 minority business enterprise. This represents 44% of the eligible PO volume and 25% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 654-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 654-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Megan. The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 655-20. Resolution authorizing a supplemental contract with RSM US LLP for the implementation of a new family stabilization case management system in the amount of $221,480.
Good morning, Commissioners. Juan Torres, CIO for the Board of Commissioners. I'm presenting a Board of Commissioners resolution on behalf of Department of Job and Family Services to support the Franklin County Family Stabilization Unit in the amount of $221,480. This resolution is a supplemental contract with 3 main components. Under the contract, RSM will provide technology services to the Franklin County Data Center to deploy and configure a multi-tenant Microsoft Dynamics 365 solution in the county's cloud environment. Once that environment is established, RSM will configure the Dynamics environment utilizing their experience and an accelerator design for health and human services agencies. Included in this resolution is a 6-month support contract once the implementation is complete to support the program. The Family Stabilization Unit is a pilot program that will work across local government agencies to help Black boys and their families successfully navigate the challenges of a complex and often siloed health and human services system. This is a first of its kind wraparound service assistance program while taking a tailored approach to meet the unique needs of each family. We also have Joy Bivens, Director of Job and Family Services, available for any questions. But pending any questions, we ask your approval.
Commissioners, if I could, again, Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services. As you know, in 2018, when you did your poverty blueprint plan, identified racism as an overarching theme of poverty, as well as the negative health disparities that impact people of color. Currently, right now in Franklin County, 73% of Black boys interface with the juvenile justice system. The Franklin County Stabilization Unit is a high-touch unit combined with collaborative partners that we are targeting families that interface with that system, not only to assist families in stabilizing them, but also bring forth policies that pose continual barriers to families, as well as track data, in addition to stabilizing families. The RMS system will assist us in maintaining continuity in communication and care for these families. This, I believe, is the first step. And Juan will correct me because I am not all techie, because I have to call him even when I purchase one of my kids' iPad. This is the first step in us really breaking down those silos, as Juan stated, because silo systems perpetuate racism. And we want to make sure that we stop using these data sound bites and people clutching their pearls when we talk about these unfortunate statistics, but we're being intentional. And that's what you have charged many of us to do, to go out and seek out programming that addresses racism. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll just add that, if I may.
Please.
Commissioner Grady. Okay. Yeah, I'll just add that, I think it's so important that we equip the team with the right resources to do the job. And I think this software will give them the resources and to carry out type of functions that really help families. It's my opinion that technology and software often helps stretch individuals so that you're really operating like 4 or 5 people, because you've got the software or technology that does a lot of other things for you. So I really feel like this is a part of that equipment. I think we're off to a great start with this group and this unit, and I'm looking forward to seeing their real work come in the form of stronger families, in the form of stronger young men. And so I highly support this resolution. Thanks, Director Bivens. And if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 655-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 655-20 has been adopted.
All right. Thank you. Clerk Hindelang, do we have any journalizations today?
No, Commissioner.
All right, so that concludes our business. Today is National Voter Registration Day, so get out and register someone to vote. It is a crucial election this year. Not telling anybody who to vote for, but it is a crucial election this year. So by all means, this is a good time to get out and do that. Earl, do you have any questions for the commissioners today?
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. So just to highlight the early voter outreach efforts, like that plan, and Mr. Leonard probably alluded to this, but I'm wondering if you all still are plan to be directly hands-on with any modifications with that, with that plan going forward. I don't know if it's set yet, but from what I've heard, like you all want to continue to have some sort of direction on how that plan looks going forward. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. I've been on the phone with Director Leonard, with 2 of the 4 members of the Board of Elections, talking to them at length over the last 2 weeks, trying to get this script set, trying to get the look and the feel of the commercial done. We've been trying to talk about minority outreach. We've been having all these conversations for the last couple of weeks. So we're very much interested in continuing to have the conversations about where this stuff's going to go.
I'll just say it. I mean, and I don't disagree with my colleagues, Marilyn Brown and John O'Grady at all. I think, this promotion of the voter registration and the election itself and the process for how you get your ballot is critical. But I take a little more fundamental approach with it, and that's it's not good enough. And this is not a criticism of my colleagues at all. It's just my perspective on this. It's not good enough to tell me that you have a minority plan, and if I can't see it in the plan that you've got put forward, then I question what you're really going to do. And I just felt that you've got every other line item dedicated to something. Why wouldn't you have it for minority newspapers? Why wouldn't you have it for minority radio? Why wouldn't you have it for seniors? And so I feel like I don't, given, and appreciate Commissioner O'Grady, who has those relationships with the folks over at the board. I don't. And so I don't have the same type of trust based on what's been presented to feel as though they're going to do the right thing. I just don't. They don't have a history of it. And so, this, to me, this is a very important part of the job and the process. And so it's not good enough that they're telling me, oh, well, we're going to get to that. And I just don't see it in what's been presented. And maybe we just see it a little differently in what's been presented. But I'm not, that's where my disappointment is. I don't disagree that it should be done, that whatever they're doing is valuable. And so I could have voted for it. But again, just on the point of not seeing the detail of where the efforts are going to go for minority outreach or senior outreach or whatever, a detail about Franklin County, it's not, the script didn't really capture any of that to me. And you heard the director say that's just not in there. Those details are not in there. And so that's why I voted no.
To my colleagues, I would say I don't disagree with either of you. I also think it's so critically important we get the advertising out to the community. Our residents need to know how to vote, where to vote, and any advertising we can get out. And I know that we're going to be doing other things, and we can take what the Board of Elections does and use it in our own social media and tailor it to what we want to say. And I think that's important. This is the first time in several years that the Board of Elections has even agreed to do this. And we need to look at the big picture. If we turn this down, they will never agree to fund voter education and outreach again. And that's where I disagree with my colleagues who say this isn't enough. Of course, it's not enough. I would like it to be stronger. I would like it to be more, but it's so critically important we get something out there. And this is a start. And I'm willing to take what they have and I'll use it and I'll take it for what it is and I'll put my own social media out there and use what they've done and add to it what I want to say and get it out to my group on Facebook. And Kevin, I would urge you to do the same thing.
For sure. Yep.
Commissioners, with your permission, I'd like to recognize that Administrator Wilson has his hand up.
Thank you, Clerk. Before we close, because we are facing some critical days ahead as far as some deadlines, I just want to speak to the 2020 census, which as far as we know now, the county sets it under 68%, and we're pushing to do better than that. So I just urge our residents to go to 2020census.gov or make fccount.com to get more information. It doesn't take a lot of time. Please spread the word in your networks that we must complete the census. Billions of dollars are at stake from the federal government, and we don't get a do-over for 10 years. I know we're in the midst of a pandemic, but let's reach deeper and get as many people as possible to complete the census. And then lastly, as far as elections go, we are still in need of individuals to consider and sign up to be poll workers. It's going to be critical that Franklin County has over 5,000 poll workers to ensure that for those that choose election day or the days leading up, that we operate as efficiently and effectively as possible. So go to the website, www.workelectionday.com, to get more information and spread that word as well. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Ken, on both of those.
I know that earlier NBC4 was on with us. Is there anybody from NBC4 still on the call? Earl, did you have anything else?
Nope, all good.
Thank
right.
you, Earl.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.